Thank you so much for staying with us as we continue to tell your story. Now, following the President's announcement at the State of the Nation address that early childhood education centers will now migrate from the Department of Social Development to the Basic Education Department, Minister Angie Motshekga has announced that South Africa will host the Africa Play Conference, which ended officially today. The conference is in light of a growing body of research that points to play-based learning as a key means of improving children's academic performance and personal development. We now take this matter further with Marie-Louise Samuels. She is the director responsible for early childhood development at the Department of Basic Education, and she joins me now live from our studios in Pretoria. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good afternoon, Palisa.
And I suppose really the first question is the Department of Basic Education ready for this migration from the ECDs from the social development into the basic education?
Palisa, it's a very big job that has to be done, but I think that as the two departments we have been engaging with one another for some time already, and so we will just take it and continue to do the planning and the necessary arrangements in order for that to happen.
Oh.
But it has been in the National Development Plan, and so we have been preparing for some time for this.
Okay, no, good news indeed. Now let's talk about this conference which has just ended today. The importance really of incorporating fun into learning.
Palisa, as you know, things are changing at a phenomenal rate in the world, globally as well as here on the continent. And it doesn't help the children if we continue to use the very traditional approaches that we've used to teach and to engage with children. And so putting fun into learning, making sure that learners are actively involved in their learning process, assists in them developing the necessary skills in order to cope with the changing world. And so, there's a lot of discussion about the fourth industrial revolution, a lot of discussion about the skills of the 21st century, and ensuring that we are engaging with our learners and making them much more critical about what they do is really going to stand them in good stead for the future. Yeah. And you and I don't even know what the future is.
No, true indeed. Now, let's also talk about the partnership that the Basic Education Department had with UNICEF and the Lagos Foundation as well. How important is that? More so, I believe, in terms of, giving the necessary resources to the public schools.
Palisa, what we have over the past 5 years been doing is really engaging with a number of different programs. But we've decided to shift the kind of project-based approach to becoming much more systemic about what we do. And so currently there's a program that is being rolled out in 3 of the provinces, and that is in Gauteng, Eastern Cape and Free State, with foundation phase teachers. And there we're really trying to get teachers to understand what play-based learning is, what they should be doing to ensure that they engage much better with their learners. And in so doing, we believe that we'll be able to make a difference in terms of both the results as well as, the standing them in good stead for the future. The conference really didn't only focus on the programs, but it really looked at getting people to understand the value of play-based learning, the value of ensuring that we do inculcate the necessary skills in learners, and we believe that it's not only important for us here in South Africa, but the continent. It's important for us on the continent as well.
And part of what the department speaks about here is that they're looking into preparing the children in 4 critical areas. They talk about the 4 C's, which is your collaboration and teamwork, creativity and imagination, critical thinking and communication as well. So how crucial are these 4 C's that I'm talking about?
They are extremely crucial, particularly if we think about the fact that learners are being prepared at the moment for jobs that they don't even know about. We don't even know what jobs there will be in the future. So children that have gone to grade 1 this year, we don't know what the kind of jobs would be once they leave. And so they really need to be able to be ready to cope with the world that is such an unknown world. And so being creative, being able to engage, being able to collaborate with others, those are the kinds of skills that children need in order for them to take on this unknown entity that we have in the world. Knowledge, if we're wanting to find out what is happening in a particular area or information about something, we Google, we research, we use our tablets in order to get that information. But it's that kind of, you can't Google an ability to work with somebody else. And so we really need children to be able to identify the problems that there are, the challenges that there are, and to develop mechanisms of dealing with those challenges. Yeah. And so creative thinking is very important. Innovation is critical. Collaborating with one another, communicating, all of that is very important.
Okay. So the conference has ended, as I said. What happens next? Perhaps in terms of the recommendations that were put forward at the conference, how do we put them into action and move on now?
Palisa, we had about 400 delegates from a range of countries, both on the continent, the majority of which are from the continent. And then there were some speakers from, US and the UK, etc. What I missed because I came here was the, the declaration that we made at the end of the conference, which really is a set of recommendations around a number of different themes. So, for example, teacher development is critical. So teachers need to be reskilled. Teachers need to create the kind of atmosphere that will allow them, the children, to be engaging in the work that they do. And so all of these recommendations now will be taken, to the different countries, and we would look at ways of working with one another. We've established networks, and now is the opportunity for us to build on those networks, to share the experience, and to ensure that we indeed make this continent a much better place. One of the partners that you didn't mention was ADEA, which was the continental partner in the preparation for the conference. And through the ADEA networks, we will definitely take forward this kind of approach to learning that that we need to inculcate in our systems.
All right. Now, we'll leave it at this for now, but I suppose this is the beginning of the very important conversations that we should be having around ECDs. Thank you so much for coming through. Marie-Louise Samuels is the Director responsible for Early Childhood Development from the Basic Education Department, joining us live from our studios in Pretoria.